Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something that's probably on your mind, maybe even keeping you up at night. Do you have a future retirement income gap? And, more importantly, what can you actually do about it?
So let me just ask you, point blank, are you worried about outliving your money? It's a huge fear, right? Wondering if that nest egg you've worked so hard to build is actually going to be enough when the time comes.
And this quote right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. We have to shift our thinking. It's not about saving up some giant magic number. It's about how much of a reliable, steady paycheck that number can generate for you month after month.
So, to figure out how to get the biggest paycheck possible, we first have to understand where the money's supposed to come from. Let's break down what we call the 4 pillars of retirement income.
Okay, so you've probably heard of the first three, right? You've got Social Security, that's your base. Then there are pensions, which are great if you're lucky enough to have one. And of course, there are the traditional plans like your 401k or IRA that most of us are using. But it's this fourth pillar, the index strategy, that's the real game changer here. It's the key to filling the gap that the other three almost always leave behind.
So, why do we even need a fourth pillar? I mean, shouldn't the first three be enough? Well, here's the thing. Without it, most people are walking straight into a hidden income gap that they just don't see coming until it's way too late.
And the numbers don't lie. Just look at this chart. It shows what happens even if you're lucky enough to have both Social Security and a pension. Together, they typically only cover about 65% of what you were used to earning. That leaves a massive 35% shortfall. And if you don't have a pension, whoa, that gap is even bigger.
Let that sink in for a second. We're talking about 35 to 40% of your income, just gone. It vanishes the day you retire. That's a huge financial shock to the system. Seriously, just think about that. What would you do right now if your paycheck was suddenly cut by a third? Would that change things? Your lifestyle, your plans, your peace of mind? You bet it would. And, as if that income gap wasn't scary enough, it actually gets worse. There are these other forces out there, kind of working against you, trying to make that gap even bigger. And here they are, the 4 big risks to your retirement. You've got the stock market roller coaster, right? Then there's inflation, which is quietly stealing your money's buying power every single day. The very real chance of higher taxes in the future. And then the big one, a surprise health issue that can drain your savings in a heartbeat. And see, this is the big problem with those traditional plans we all rely on. Your money is basically strapped into that market roller coaster, going up and down. And what's worse, when you finally take it out to live on, you've got to pay taxes on every single penny. So you got to ask yourself, knowing all this, knowing there's a gap, and that these risks are out there, are you really sure you have the right plan to close that gap for good? Okay, enough with the problems, right? Let's talk about the solution. This is where we bring in that powerful fourth pillar, the index strategy. This is how you can build a truly secure financial future.
Just imagine for a second, what if you could get all the upside of the market, but with none of the downside? What if you could grow your money when the market goes up, but never, ever lose a dime when it crashes? Well, that's exactly what the index strategy is all about. It's pretty genius, actually. Your money's growth is linked to a market index. So when the market does well, you do well. But, and this is the magic part, it has a safety net, a 0% floor. So if the market tanks, your money is safe, you don't lose anything, you get to lock in your gains, and you never have to go backward. This side-by-side comparison just puts it in black and white. It couldn't be clearer, right? On one side, you've got market risk and a future tax bill. On the other side, no market losses and the potential for completely tax-free income. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. So what does all this mean for you, for your retirement? Well, it means we can stop worrying about just saving money and start talking about optimizing your retirement paycheck to get every last drop of potential out of your money. And this is the number that really blows people away. We're not talking about saving more money. We're talking about being smarter with the money you already have. And just by doing that, you have the potential to get 2, maybe even 3 times more income in retirement. That's absolutely life-changing. And this really sums it all up perfectly. With the exact same savings, you can create so much more income. It's not about pinching more pennies, it's just about having a better blueprint, a smarter structure for your money. So let me just ask you one last question.
If there was a proven way you could get more income, pay less in taxes, and sleep great at night knowing your savings are protected from crashes, would you at least want to see how that could work for you? If that sounds good to you, and I bet it does, the next step couldn't be easier. You can schedule a totally complimentary retirement paycheck review. There's no cost, no obligation at all. You just get to sit down with an expert, Jeremy James Stewart, and see what this could look like for your specific situation. This is your chance to really learn how to put the power of the indexed strategy to work for you. The whole goal is to get your savings optimized so you can finally close that income gap for good and get the biggest retirement paycheck possible.